All right, now we want to bring you this. Overnight, senators adopted a slimmed-down GOP budget proposal focusing on defense, border security, and energy priorities, despite President Trump earlier backing a competing plan put forward by the House. Yesterday evening, the Senate embarked on what's known as a vote-a-rama. It stretched on into the early hours of this morning. For more on this, CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins us from Capitol Hill. Nikole, I don't think it's your first vote-a-rama ever. Explain to us what that means, what took so long, and what's been accomplished.
Yeah, well, we love the vote-a-rama around here. Keeps things interesting and fun. And for people wondering what a vote-a-rama is, it's basically a vote around the clock type of situation for the Senate. And that's basically what they did. You know, when there are big bills like this, usually what happens is there is an amendment process where sometimes senators can offer, in some cases, unlimited amendments on a particular bill. And so because they have to take a vote on each amendment, that is why they are kind of these marathon vote sessions, if you will. And so that's basically what senators were doing overnight while folks were sleeping, just voting on amendment after amendment after amendment. And from the perspective of Senate Democrats, while this was a Republican-led bill, Senate Democrats were trying to use some of those amendments to make Republicans take hard votes on issues like, tax cuts, on, entitlement programs like Medicaid, and also with respect to trying to force their hand with respect to some of these job cuts that we have been seeing coming from the Trump administration, and trying to make Republicans defend that by taking some of these tough votes with respect to different amendments. So that's why this process was kind of prolonged, if you will, but ultimately Republicans were able to move forward with this budget resolution, which by and large advances President Trump's legislative agenda by providing about $175 billion in funding for the border security, which is something that is a priority of the president as he tries to enact this mass deportation plan in terms of staffing up, resources at the border, increasing the number of detention beds and the like. There's also money in there for defense and energy. Of course, the House does have a competing bill, and they will take that up next week.
I'm wondering if Senate Republicans were able to go and push this through, considering that it did give money for Trump's immigration border priorities, despite the fact that the president supported a different bill.
Well, right. So that's that House bill that I was talking about. And really the main difference between the two is that the Senate version is a more targeted bill, a skinny version of the president's wish list, if you will. So as I mentioned, the Senate version focuses mostly on border security, energy, defense. What's missing is extending the president's tax cuts. That's what's part of the House bill. And that is something that Senate Republicans do support. They just believe in kind of doing it in two tranches, if you will. And they wanted to kind of give the president a win now and give him some funding now. But House Republicans argue, look, we may just have one bite at the apple, so we should lump everything in, including extending the president's tax cuts. The president also wants to increase the debt limit. So there's also some debt limit language in that bill, which will raise the nation's credit card so that they can have money to spend for all of these programs. So that is what's part of the House bill and what they will take up next week. How the two different bills get reconciled, though, still remains to be seen.
Always great to have Nikole break it down for us. Really appreciate your reporting, Nikole. Have a great weekend.